The organizing principle is pretty much what you just said at the beginning there. The thing that really fascinates me is what happens to people when they are acted upon by powerful ideas from outside them. What then happens to those powerful ideas when they get inside those people's heads? And I think in our age, where we are encouraged to think of ourselves as free individuals, that tension between the big forces outside us and what then happens when they get inside our heads is really the sort of dynamic of our time. I mean, the person you talk about just then, who was a young individualist in the late 50s, early 60s, who thought that conspiracy theories were in a way a tool of the powerful to try and make us feel helpless, and set out to try and parody them, ends up by the end of the 1970s, because he's feeling isolated and alone, wondering whether in fact he himself might have been part of a conspiracy. And in a way, I think that sort of is getting at one of the great things of our time, is that in an age of the individual, it is wonderful to be free, to not to be told by old upper classes, by old patricians, what to do. That's fantastic. And we've lived through that age and it's great. But its downside is that you are on your own. And that's fine when things are going well, but when things go badly, you are weak and uncertain. And that's what happened to that guy. And in a way, I think he sort of epitomizes the story of our time, is that we were going to live in this fantastic world where we would be at the center of everything and we would be in charge of our own lives. But it brings uncertainties with it.
The other thing that brings up for me is, and again, you talk about stories. You know, I've just been doing this Secrets of Cinema series for BBC4, and one of the things we do is we take 120 movies that have nothing in common, and we look for patterns, we look for things that are repeating, and we find them, and that's how we manage to organize the thing. But we've imposed this on it. And one of the things that you're talking about in the documentary is the way in which we either do or don't impose an order on the events around us. And once again, coming back to that person you were talking about, them actually coming out, having first introduced the bogus idea of the Illuminati being behind everything, then find themselves having constructed a narrative that they start to believe in, even though they know it's not true.
Yes, I do think one of the great central things of our time is that guy we mustn't give too much of the story away, but that guy meets the godfather of modern conspiracy theories, who is a guy called Jim Garrison, who really put forward the JFK conspiracy theory. He had this principle which he called time and propinquity.
Yeah.
What that really means is you'll never find out what the real power are doing because it'll be too hidden. You'll never find the true narrative because they always hide it. What you have to look for, he said, are patterns on the surface, little links and coincidences that are like telltale shoots coming up, showing you the hidden power underneath. And I think in a way he was sort of one of the ideologists of our time, because if you look at the internet now, that's what everyone does. They spend their days and their nights scrolling through the internet, looking for patterns, links, coincidences. And funnily enough, that's exactly how artificial intelligence works.